I'm going to expand a little bit on the video I just made on Ohio's new law as far as deer hunting rounds is concerned for rifles. Any straight wall cartridge, 3.57 diameter to 50 caliber. Okay. Technically, by that language, I could use a .458 Winchester Magnum as a deer round in Ohio. The problem with that is, other than the horrendous recoil, is if I take a bullet suitable for deer and I fire it at full capacity from the .458 Winchester Magnum, any deer that's in close with the bullet still screaming, that bullet's going to self-destruct when it hits. Okay, it's going to make a mess, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary to shoot that bullet that fast. But for you reloaders out there is a little option that's a little bit cheaper than buying a new rifle. Not a lot cheaper than buying a Ruger American 450, but a lot more capacity. You've heard of the 450 Marlin. Well, the 450 Marlin is basically a 458 by 2 Wildcat that they legitimized. Okay, and a 458 by 2 is simply that, is a 458 Magnum round that's cut down to 2 inches. The case is cut down to 2 inches. You know, a 450 Marlin case, I believe, is a little bit longer than 2 inches. So anyway, if I would, let's say I have a Savage rifle. I have a long action Savage rifle, any caliber, 30-06 or something like that. What you can do with a Savage rifle, as a lot of people don't realize, is that's a switch barrel rifle. Okay, with a receiver clamp and a wrench and a headspace gauge, I can change the barrel on a Savage rifle and put a new barrel on it, and then change it back when I'm done. And the other thing is the bolt head is also changeable. Okay, so if I buy the barrel, I buy the bolt head, I buy the gauge, and I have the simple barrel clamp and the wrench for it, I can change that rifle from 30-06 to a Magnum case head. I got to change the magazine box too. I don't want to forget that part, because the lips on the sheet metal lips on the magazine box are different. But I could do that. So I could go to Savage Shooters or E.R. Shaw or something and have a Savage barrel in the profile I want, made up in 458 by 2. Now the reason we wouldn't go straight to 450 Marlin is that the brass on the Marlin is a little different. The belt on the case is longer. Okay, and they did that so that a 458 by 2 that somebody might load won't fit in the gun. Okay, but we're not worried about that. And 450 Marlin brass is not that common. Okay, it can be a little hard to find. So basically, I have a Raymond out 458 by 2, and I got to be a reloader to do this. And I can make that brass out of anything with that Magnum case head that's long enough. I can make it out of a 300 Magnum. I can make it out of anything like that. I don't have to buy 458 brass, cut it down. I can use like 300 Winchester Magnum brass, which I already have laying around, and more common things like that. So that's an option for a reloader. If you're not a reloader, you got to pay the price, whatever you got to pay. You find that if you're a reloader, and I'm going to point this at Matt O'Brien, if you're a reloader, you get to shoot a lot more. You're not going to spend less. You're not. You're just going to shoot a lot more for what you spent. And you got to have the time to do it, okay? Because, you got to go down there and crank the rounds out and make them. So, but that's another option. I mean, if they say any straight wall cartridge that from 3.57 to 50 caliber, there's no reason I can't use a 458 by 2 Wildcat, because it falls within that definition. And that's something I need to consider. I don't currently have a Savage rifle. But picking up a Savage rifle in a long action and buying the parts to change it over, you know, I mean, you might spend almost as much as you do on the 450 Bushmaster I spoke about. But the thing of it is, the 450 8x2 is a lot more powerful than the 450 Bushmaster. Just a thought to keep in mind, okay? What you can do if you're a reloader and how versatile you become when you start reloading. Otherwise, you're stuck with what the factories offer. All right.